So we don't usually say back to school this late, but it was the first day after a long hiatus for many. The grade 7 and 12s, remember, had already returned to school today. More than 8 grades returning after schools were closed at the end of July due to that surge in coronavirus cases. Grades 5 and 8 will return on the 31st of August. Some unions have been concerned that the number of pupils returning today could cause chaos. Let's speak to Thompson now, President of the National Teachers Union. Mr. Thompson, thank you for joining us. How did day one go according to your members?
Well, thank you very much for having me. Well, as the National Teachers Union, we have been observing all corners of the Republic of South Africa in relation to the return of learners. It was quite a very hectic day, problematic day at some point, because like in the province of Mpumalanga, we saw some parents disrupting the schooling system simply because after they've observed that the school were not properly provided with the PPEs, some of the classes were failing to observe social distancing simply because of the major problem of the schools that were vandalized while we were on the first round of lockdown. And the unfortunate part is that we were hoping that by now the schools that were vandalized should have been renovated by the department. So as a result, failure to renovate such schools and failure also to provide the mobile classes resulted into some of the schools being disrupted by parents and some of the learners who were not aware that they were not supposed to come to school because the school has decided that certain grades must come and other grades must not come. They came to the school, then they were forced to go back home simply because there was no floor space.
Yeah, this has been cited as a problem. The educational department said there would be rotational learning to ensure social distancing in schools where it's not possible otherwise. So you have certain grades on certain days, but some kids, especially in some of the poorer areas, very hard to get hold of on the telephone, for example.
Yes, that's a problem that, you see, coronavirus indicated beyond reasonable doubt that the gap between the rich and the poor in the Republic of South Africa is widening. And it's sending a challenge to the Department of Education, government in general, that we need to prioritize the schools situated in townships and also schools situated in rural areas in terms of trying to improve the communication and technology. Now, another serious concern, which was a very big concern to teachers, is that the little number of teachers available, especially because they have their own colleagues that are having the comorbidities, which are at home, they could not get the replacement of those teachers. So those that are at school are being overstretched. And we are having a concern as the National Teachers Union that some of the teachers are teaching subjects that are not their major subjects. Some are even teaching subjects that they've never taught for the last 10 years, which means instead of effective teaching and learning, they are finding themselves being converted into childminders because they must just occupy learners without any effective teaching and learning. That is why in a meeting we'll be having with the Department of Basic Education on Wednesday, we'll be putting forth such an issue to say we don't have to waste time. We need to employ teachers in all schools. We need to find replacement for those that are having comorbidities and also prioritize the delivery of mobile classes, because as much as we are talking about the rotation, some of the grades must attend on the same day. You can't say, like in the school that is supposed to have 32 classes for grade 11, that some of the grade 11 and other parts grade 11 must come on Tuesday. It can't work like that. They have to come on the same day. Hence, we need those schools with the problem of the floor space to be provided by the mobile classes, additional teachers, substitute teachers, so that effective teaching can occur.
Okay, we lost you a little bit there, but we got your main thoughts. And let me try and throw in this question. How widespread are the problems as far as you're concerned? Are those vandalized schools or issues of kids coming and they shouldn't be there? How widespread is it? Is it enough to say this is failing, this kickoff of the school year? Or can we say, despite these problems, the school year can get going again?
Well, remember, teachers they are very serious about their work. they are trying everything possible in their power just to assist learners to get education. But the concern that we are having is that in another school that we visited, learners were told that those that are doing grade 10 and grade 9, they were told that they must come to school in the next 2 weeks. Now, that on its own suggests that they are unlikely to cover the curriculum supposed to be completed this year. The problem of vandalized schools, we are having that problem throughout the country. And almost all the provinces have not started to renovate or to refurbish those schools. As a result, schools that are situated in township, schools that are situated in rural areas are the ones that are mostly hit by this kind of a problem. Hence, our call to the Department of Basic Education that they need to plead to the National Treasury for the money to be redirected to the schools situated in township and also schools situated in rural areas so that we can be able to elevate the level of teaching and learning in those areas, because at the end of the year, these learners are expected to sit for one examination paper, question paper. The matric are expected to write one question paper. Hence, we have made our own request for an urgent meeting with Umalusi so that we can sit and look at on these critical issues.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, universities will have to accommodate the learners, but they will prioritize those that are having good marks. Yeah. And those from township are not likely to have good marks, and those coming from the rural schools.
Mr. Thompson, very quickly, please. Some would blame the unions for the delays, the disruptions in the school year, which allowed those schools to be vulnerable. Any regrets about pushing back when government wanted to go back earlier?
No. I think many people must be very proud of the efforts that were put by ourselves as the teacher unions in terms of saving lives. Because if you look at the death rate or the rate of fatalities in the country, you can see that it was a very good decision to push the department to close schools and take stock and try to provide all the necessary PEEs and also provide water, sanitation in the schools that were having a serious shortage. So we are very excited about what we did and our efforts. No regrets at all.
Right.
The only thing we want to see happening now is perhaps the postponement of the examination so that we can afford and accord teachers more time so that they can finish the curriculum.
All right. Thank you for your time tonight. That was Alan Thompson of the National Teachers Union.